So important to enjoy the process, guys. It's so important to enjoy the journey. When I first got into this, however many years it's been now, um, when I started doing this 12 years ago, it was all about accomplishment. It was always about the destination. It was never about the journey. I just wanted to get to the next thing and accomplish the next thing and do the next thing and kick butt at the next thing. And I was not enjoying my life at that point. And once I really started doing this full time, and I could not concentrate just because of lack of time, I could not concentrate on the accomplishment high that I got from accomplishing things. I started really to enjoy the process and really to enjoy not that this had to be done today or that would had to be due tomorrow or I had this deadline or whatever the case may be, because I also write articles for the magazine. I've got deadlines. I do editorial for the magazine. I do the hotspots fishing reports for the magazine, but I also sell to eat for a living, so I've got a lot of time to balance there. Once I started enjoying the process, I started enjoying my life a lot more, and I really think that's such the secret sauce in all this stuff is enjoying the journey and enjoying the process. You take the good with the bad and you move on. I've had people hang up on me before when I've called for sponsorships. I've had people be rude to me before at trade shows. I've had just a lot of doors slammed in my face in the past. I've had a lot of disasters, absolute disasters in the outdoor industry with platforms that I've helped launch, with web TV things, streaming TV that's supposed to be the next YouTube of the hunting world, supposed to be the next Carbon TV, and all these other things. And I've had my butt handed to me in a handful of more than a handful of times. And you got to learn to take the good with the bad. You got to learn how to take that pro staff position that you won from a whole crowd of other people, compared to all the other things that can happen to you, that are bad. And so I always use a saying, and this comes from Bob Proctor, who's a motivational speaker: harvest the best, forget the rest. It's so vitally important. Harvest the best of your experiences and forget the rest of the BS that doesn't matter. So, words to live by here. This is Jim Rohn, who is another motivational speaker that I live by. And again, this course is less about the hunting and fishing, lifestyle than it is more about success. And that's why I wanted to bring somebody like Jim Rohn together. So, start from wherever you are and with whatever you've got. I used a phrase back when I was in the Mac and Prowler TV show that was use what you have. It was something we were so vitally, engaged with doing, is using what we have. So if you're a deer hunter or a hog hunter, you can easily be a predator hunter just using the same gear. That's what we taught on that TV show. I'm that way with this stuff. I wrote the foreword the other day for the e-guide that I have out there, for the gear guide that I have out there as part of this trilogy or trifecta, or what do you want to call it, this three-part series that I'm doing, the online course and the e-guide and the ebook. And basically, I just talked about use what you've got. Start from wherever you are and use what you got. You don't have to go out and buy the hottest, sexiest, neatest equipment. You don't have to be, some superstar hot model, to be successful. Use what you have. And that's how I started doing this. And I'm considering myself very successful today because I just started from what I had and invested in equipment as I went along, and invested in this, that, and the other as I went along. So Jim Rohn also says, without constant activity, the threats of life will soon overwhelm the values. That's another good quote, because there's so many things that can get in the way of you achieving your dreams in the outdoor lifestyle, in the outdoor world, because there's so many things that are distractions, if you will. Your family, I'm not saying family doesn't come first. Family does come first with me too. I just work a lot, really hard at this stuff. I don't let a lot of things hold me back. It's hard to keep a good man down, as the old saying goes. And if you continue to, fight hard and put constant activity, and that's why I teach, do something towards your dream. And a lot of people, when the first book I wrote was the Outdoor Industry's Guide to the Outdoor Industry's TV show Guide to the Industry. When I wrote that book, I basically said I do a little something to accomplishing my dream every day. And a little bit of activity, maybe a Facebook post, maybe recording a podcast, maybe editing something, it may be, whatever the case may be. I'm constantly working towards my goals and dreams every day. And again, without constant activity, the threats of life will soon overwhelm the values. And so that's wildly important. Play on the offensive. Play the game to win on the offensive. Don't play on the defenses, because the world will kick your butt if you do. Especially the outdoor industry will kick your tail if you play on the defensive and you just play, with your cards close to your chest. I play with all the chips on the table, all in. I mean, that's the only way I've learned to play. And there's a book, I'll get into this a little bit later in the series, Grant Cardone, the 10x rule, and he basically talks about just playing at 10x levels, not just 1xing your life and just doing the bare minimum. It's massive action that gets you anywhere in life. I've never gone anywhere in my life by doing less, in other words. And that doesn't come down to money, it comes down to time. It comes down to the investment of time you make in what you're trying to do. Last quote here in this series is, the big challenge is to become all that you have the possibility of becoming. You cannot believe what it does to the human spirit to maximize your human potential and stretch yourself to the limit. That goes right back to the 10x rule. Getting out there and owning your space. Getting out there and dominating. Because you really have three choices, and I'll talk about this a little bit later in the series too. You can be dominant, you can be present, or you can be competitive. And it really doesn't go in that order either. Dominant's the top, competitive is the middle, and present is the bottom. If you're just present in this industry, it will eat you alive. If you just show up and have a mild dream, and I've dealt with plenty of people like this, some that live even locally to me that have come over to my house and to see what ticks and what makes me tick and what I do, they don't have the fortitude to get out there and make it happen. And that's what you really have to make this gig work, is to get out there and make your own luck, not just depend on good or bad luck. You can look at somebody like Michael Waddell or Kevin Van Dam or any of these other big outdoor names and go, oh, they were lucky. No, they worked their tail off for years and years and years. Michael Waddell, for instance, was behind the camera, for many years before he ever got in front of the camera and ever started doing, a lot of that stuff. You don't know those whole stories. T-Bone Turner, was a bow tech, bow technician, and he was really good at what he did, and really, before he ever picked up a bow in front of a camera, he was, hustling on the sidelines, doing his thing. So that's something to really keep in mind there too. So your choice: be present, hang out, and socialize. Be competitive, achieve goals, and be noticed. Or be dominant, crush it, and own the game, baby. The only wrong decision is never getting going. You need to share your message with the world. The world needs to hear it. Nothing takes the place of your passion and emotion. That is so vitally important, guys. I cannot stress that enough. You can choose to be present, competitive, or dominant. Dominant is the only way to roll. And that is getting out there in front of people. That's getting out there with all your flaws and your faults and your failures and everything like I've done in my career. And still, seeking to own the game, still seeking to get out there and hustle and put on your hustle muscle, as I call it. So don't settle for less than your best. All of us are born an original. Most of us will die a copy, says the great Les Brown, the great motivator. All of us are born an original, but most of us will die a copy. Isn't that sad? I mean, that really gets to me, because we are all unique, and I'll get a little bit spiritual here for a minute, as I do in the ebook. We're all unique expressions of God. I believe we're here for two reasons, and that is, reason number one is to learn to love and care about other people, and love to care about a relationship with God. And reason two is to acquire knowledge, learn things, learn skills, learn how to do things. If you're not expanding, you're contracting. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. And if you're not being the best version of you that you can possibly be, you're doing the opposite. And that's why I really say, don't settle for less than your best, because we're all original creations of God, and we're all original creations of it. There'll never be another you. There'll never be another version of you in all of eternity. There's only you right now, and your choice to what you're going to do with that, successfully or unsuccessfully, is your choice. So that's part of the way that works. One of the podcasts that I listen to on a regular occasion is Every Day is Saturday. It's really easy to remember. And Sam Crowley says, accept who you are, not where you are. Motivate, inspire, and succeed. Everydayissaturday.com is the website for his show. I started listening to him back in 2012 when I really got involved with ramping up on doing media stuff. And he's really inspired me. I've taken his course, Podcast House, Every Day is Saturday Academy, and the 6 Days of Saturday course that he teaches. And that's really motivated me to do this course for you guys, because I've had so much fun listening to his content, and being a part of his world has really fired me up. So anyway, that is what I wanted to leave you guys with here today is, just really accept who you are, not where you are, and go check out Sam Crowley's podcast. He's got a great one.